Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. together with First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos.
Panahon na ng pagbabago, dahil sa ito ay kinakailangan tayo na magtulong-tulong na pagunlarin ang mahal nating bayan. Panahon na ng pagbabago at iayos ang mga dapat ayusin. Dapat lang maging tungkulin ng bawat mamamayan dito sa atin. Gawin ang pagbabago patungo sa pag-asenso, magsikap ng mabuti at nang guminhawa tayo. Malaki natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am Luella Chan, and it is my honor to be your host this evening. The Chinatown Revitalization Project continues its meaningful journey this evening as we mark Phase 2 of this important initiative. This phase builds on the lighting of the Jones Bridge, launched on June 7, 2025, which drew strong inspiration from the vision of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s Pasig River Bigyang Buhay Muli project, which demonstrated how heritage restoration can serve as a powerful catalyst for urban renewal and civic pride. Through light and thoughtful restoration, we saw how history could be reawakened and reintroduced to a new generation. Building on that model, Phase 2 seeks to illuminate and honor more than 4 centuries of Filipino-Chinese history, a legacy rooted here in Binondo, the world's oldest Chinatown, which continues to thrive as a living heritage district at the heart of Manila. And tonight, we invite you to see history light up. Please direct your attention to the screen.
Every city carries memory. Some are written in stone. Others wait for light. As a melting pot of heritage and culture, its streets, structures, and character are distinctly its own, shaped by time, use, and memory. How do you revitalize without erasing? How do you honor the past without rebuilding it? The answer was light. Subtle, reversible, respectful. Light that reveals rather than replaces. At the heart of Binondo stand 4 enduring pillars. Pillar 1, democracy. Pillar 2, gratitude. Pillar 3, progress. Pillar 4, justice. Bridges do more than connect land. They connect histories, economies, nations. At the edges of Binondo, gates rise, each one distinct, each one united by purpose. King Shan Gate, spiritual grounding. Ongpin South Gate, enterprise. Ongpin North Gate, mutual aid. Tuanji Gate, unity. Before streets were named, before bridges were built, faith became the first bridge. Here in Binondo, the church stood as witness to arrival and belonging, to trade and devotion, to lives built between cultures. Just beyond it, Santa Cruz Church rose as another place of gathering, where Chinese migrants and Filipino communities met, prayed, and learned to live side by side. Tonight, light returns these stories to the surface, and the walls speak. From its earliest vision to its realization, this initiative received the steadfast support of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos. Their support affirmed a simple truth, that cultural heritage is not a luxury, but a national responsibility. When leadership listens to heritage, preservation becomes progress. Tonight, Binondo glows. Streets fill with footsteps. Shops stay open. Stories continue. Because when we choose to preserve with care and innovate with respect, heritage does not fade. It shines. For those who came before, for those who walk these streets today, and for generations yet to arrive, Binondo remembers. And tonight, it is seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we have just witnessed would not have been possible without the generosity and commitment of the Filipino-Chinese community and, of course, the steadfast support of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos, whose vision and commitment to continue strengthening cultural preservation and urban revitalization efforts such as this. As we move forward, may we now invite on stage the President of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Inc., Mr. Victor Lim, for his opening remarks.
His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos, Honorable First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, His Excellency Ambassador Ching Chen, Honorable Mayor Esco Moreno, Honorable Special Envoy Benito Techico, Honorable Secretary Jerry Acusar, and members of the diplomatic corps, fellow donors, partners from the government and private sector, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant evening to all of you. On behalf of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Inc., the Binondo Chinatown Revitalization Fund, donors, and the Filipino-Chinese community, it's my great pleasure to extend our very warmest welcome to His Excellencies and our Honorable First Lady. Tonight, we are deeply honored for your presence as we gather here in the historic and oldest Chinatown in the world for the phase 2 of the project Binondo Chinatown Revitalization. As part of the government Pasig Bigyan Buhay Muli program, the first phase of the project was Jones Bridge lighting, which is inaugurated June 2025. Through the comprehensive project, we want to inspire our fellow Filipinos and the tourists by appreciate and learn more about the city and the country. For more than 430 years now, Manila Chinatown has stood as a symbol of shared history, cultural exchange, and enduring friendship between the Filipinos and Chinese. It likewise stands the center of commerce, contributing quietly but powerfully by the growth of our nation. Its revitalized reflects our collective commitment to the preserved history, blending history preservation with a modern design, while also promoting inclusive development where livelihood, culture, and tourism integrate. Thus, we celebrate not only the revitalized street landmarks and gate arches, but also our renewed hope instead the protection of our cultural heritage and the shared responsibility between the government, the private sector, and we local community. And once more, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to President Marcos and First Lady Liza Marcos, Mayor Esco Moreno, and all our donors who supported make this project possible. Our partnership and solidarity enable us to preserve and promote our national heritage, which connects us to our past and helps shape our individual and collective identity as a nation. On February 17, we are going to celebrate the Chinese Lunar New Year. It's my hope that the year of the fire hose will bring happiness, good health, and prosperity to all of us. Once again, our warmest welcome, 新年快乐, Happy Chinese New Year, and also a Happy Valentine's Day. 恭喜发财，谢谢 Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lim, for those warm and inspiring remarks. Your leadership and the dedication of the FFCCCII continues to be instrumental in supporting Binondo's growth and cultural preservation. As we continue celebrating the enduring friendship between our two nations, it is my honor to introduce a distinguished guest whose presence strengthens these ties. Please join me in welcoming His Excellency Jing Qian, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to the Philippines.
Your Excellency President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Your Excellency First Lady Luisa Arenata Marcos, distinguished guests, members of the Chinese community, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I would like to thank President Marcos and First Lady Liza for their support to reviving the historic Binondo district, reaffirming its cultural and historical significance to Filipino-Chinese heritage and the long-standing people-to-people ties between our two countries. None of these accomplishments would have been possible without their personal care and support. I recently had a tour to Binondo. Although it's quite brief, just one whole morning, but the visit impressed me with the diligence and the perseverance of generations of Chinese Filipinos. They have taken root in the Philippines and shared close bonds with the local communities. China and the Philippines just celebrated the 50th anniversary of our diplomatic relations, but our ties go back much, much further. For thousands of years, we are close neighbors and friends. As the Chinese often say, a close neighbor actually is more important than distant relative. As neighbors, we should always respect each other, learn from each other, and help each other, but not hurt each other. So our two peoples should always like each other, but not hate each other. they should always visit each other's countries very frequently. Over the past decade, China has consistently been the Philippines' largest trading partner and the largest source of imports. Our embassy has been working closely with the Philippine side to promote the people-to-people exchange. Recently, the Philippines announced the good news of a 14-day visa-free policy for Chinese citizens. And I heard more and more Chinese tourists, they're coming back. And I had just a good news for tonight. You know, Manila and Cebu, they are the two international airports enjoy the visa-free policy. So when I visited Cebu several days ago, the local people told me, please, Ambassador, help us to open the direct flight between Cebu and Fujian, because 90% of Filipino Chinese, they're from Fujian. And then Chinese tourists, they can directly come to Cebu and visa-free. So when I back to Manila, I just work on this issue very hard and communicate with China's Civil Aviation Administration, Foreign Ministry, Fujian local government. Then today, we got the good news. China has decided that we will open the direct flights between Fujian and Cebu. On March 29th, that will be the first flight. Since then, each week, 2 flights. And if there are more tourists coming, then we will increase more. And by the way, because more Chinese tourists, they're coming back also to Manila, so we already agreed to add 2 more direct flights between Manila and Fujian. So that's the good news we heard today. At the same time, we also hope to further strengthen our law enforcement cooperation with the Philippine side to jointly fight against the crime and to ensure the safety for normal people-to-people exchanges. So I remember, right before I presented my credentials to Mr. President, you have a holding room. So we're all in the holding room. So I saw many precious historical pictures, photographs, paintings in that holding room. So that capturing moments in our bilateral relations. I still remember there's one precious piece that's it's talking about the visit, President with your mom, the then First Lady Imelda Marcos, visit China in 1974, and you met with Chairman Mao Zedong and the Premier Zhou Enlai and Deng Xiaoping. So I also saw the coffee table book produced by the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, documenting the highlights of our friendly exchanges for the past 50 years. So at that moment, I deeply admired and respected the efforts made over the past 50 years by leaders, statesmen, media professionals, and people from all walks of life in both countries to promote China-Philippines friendship. So I hope that 50 years from now, when people look back on this moment, and I think they will also feel very proud of the work, what we're doing today. So may the friendship between China and the Philippines last forever. Thank you, and Mabuha. 新年快乐，恭喜发财。Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for that meaningful message and for the continued support that strengthens the ties between our nations. At this time, may we call on stage Mayor Francisco Isco Domagoso to introduce our guest of honor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to introduce to you our guest speaker. It's an honor of the City of Manila. Lagi kaming masaya pag dumadako siya sa lungsod ng Maynila. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you very much to the Manila City Mayor, Mayor Isko Domingoso, the Ambassador of China, Jin Xuan, and I thank you very much for the good news that you have brought about the flights going to Cebu, and I hope that it will be the beginning of more interactions and people-to-people exchange between China and the Philippines. The Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, the members of the Cabinet who are here present with us, the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber for Commerce and Industry Incorporated, President Victor Lim, and of course, First Lady Luisa Araneta Marcos, and our beloved donors for the China Revitalization Phase 2 project. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Today I am excited to join you all in this historic district of Binondo for the second phase of the Chinatown Revitalization Project. Binondo, founded in 1594, is described as the world's oldest Chinatown. Beyond its age, what makes this place special is its long story of commerce, faith, and culture between Filipinos and the Chinese community. This initiative is all about honoring shared histories and giving the district the much-needed attention and respect that it deserves. Last year, Phase 1 of the project restored and illuminated Jones Bridge, turning it once again into an iconic landmark for the city of Manila. It also positioned the bridge as a heritage landmark and a nighttime attraction, contributing to the revitalization of the Pasig River corridor and promoting cultural tourism. So what better way to welcome the upcoming Chinese New Year than to build on the progress that we have made with Phase 2 of this project. Through architectural lighting and projection mapping, we are giving new life to Binondo's heritage. In this phase, we will further develop Ongpin Street into a cultural and economic hub and enhance key historical landmarks with lighting and thematic presentations along Ongpin and Escolta streets. All of these complement the progress we are making under the Pasig Bigyang Buhay Muli program. From reclaiming public spaces such as Plaza Mexico and expanding pedestrian corridors towards Arroteros Forest Park, to modernizing river transport and clearing our waterways, we are restoring life to the river and the communities beside it. Now, people can walk, can jog or bike from neighboring Intramuros, past the Manila Central Post Office, cross Jones Bridge, and arrive here in Binondo. To further strengthen mobility, we are developing the Pasig River Ferry System to link Manila Bay and Laguna Lake. This way, Binondo becomes more accessible, more appreciated by more people, especially the younger generation. These efforts will reinforce the district's historical role as a center of trade, of faith and community, and to support culture-based tourism and local economic activity. This project is for the benefit of Chinese Filipinos who call Binondo home, and for every Manileño who visits and travels through its busy streets every day. Moreover, it is for every Filipino and for anyone who wishes to gain a better understanding of our culture and our history. No matter what you are here for, whether you want to taste the best Chinese Filipino cuisine, shop in the Chinese pharmacies and groceries, go on a photography walk along the district's lively alleys, Binondo has something in store for you to enjoy. All of these activities matter because they show our curiosity
and appreciation for Binondo. I believe that the effects of this initiative must remain accessible to all. Heritage must be something we can all learn from and enjoy, regardless of where we come from or who we are. Of course, this project was made possible through the cooperation between the government, the private sector, and the Filipino-Chinese community. The outcomes remind us how much we can achieve if we work together to preserve our heritage. I look forward to the results of this project as we breathe new life into this place, which becomes a better foundation for a better, more united, bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po, mabuhay po, at mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, for your continued support of the Chinatown Revitalization Project and the Filipino-Chinese community. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Inc., together with our partners and sponsors, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your support of this meaningful cause and for being with us this evening. Should you wish to explore the various Phase 2 sites that have been illuminated and revitalized, you may refer to the maps that were given to you during registration. And for those of you who have not yet received a copy of this map, kindly approach any member of our staff for assistance. And in celebration of the upcoming Chinese New Year, you will also find lucky charms as the centerpieces on your table, which are tokens that you can actually bring home as symbols of good fortune. 祝大家新年快乐，恭喜发财. It has been an honor to be your host this evening. I am Luella Chan. The buffet tables are now open. Please enjoy your dinner as well as the wonderful performance that we've prepared for you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Huaxing Arts Group.